Good day, everyone. As we move further into the decade, the phrase data is the new oil has evolved. Today, data isn't just a resource, it's a reflection of identity, a pillar of national security, and a primary focus on international diplomacy. On this slide, we begin our deep dive into data privacy and sovereignty. While these terms are often used interchangeably, they represent two distinct challenges for the modern digital landscape. Data privacy focuses on the rights of the individual, how their personal information is collected, used, and protected from misuse. While, on the other hand, data sovereignty is a more complex, geopolitical concept. It asserts that data is subject to the laws and governance of the nation where it is physically collected or stored. As we navigate through the global legal landscape today, from the rigorous standards of Europe's GDPR and the sector specific approach of the United States to the emerging frameworks across Asia, we aren't just looking at compliance checklists. We are looking at how organizations can build trust in a world where data knows no borders, but laws more certainly do. Let's examine how these competing interests shape the way we design systems, manage records, and protect information in a hyper-connected world. So, in this presentation, we will include learning objectives, of course, the post-GPDR evolution, GDPR in 2026, CCPA and US state updates, the EU AI Act and data sovereignty, ethics of data scraping for model training, the best practices for ethical data collection, and we will uh, conclude these topics. So our objectives by the end of the session, students or learners will be able to analyze the 2026 regulatory landscape, define data sovereignty, evaluate ethical script for training, implement strategic governance, and moreover, we will explore the dynamic global data privacy landscape, key regulatory changes, the ethics of AI, and strategies for ensuring ongoing compliance that includes post-GDPR global landscape, key regulatory updates, and AI ethics and compliance strategy. So let's start, class. So let's tackle the post-GDPR evolution of fractured global landscape. So this is the shift from a single European standard to a diverse patchwork of national regulations, creating new challenges of global business. So it includes the fragmented landscape and compliance and adaptation. When GDPR was implemented in 2018, it was hailed as the gold standard that would unify data privacy globally. However, as we look at the landscape in 2026, the opposite has happened. Instead of a single global standard, we are navigating a diverse and often conflicting patchwork of national regulations. So the fragmented landscape, this is the end of uniformity. So GDPR remains a cornerstone. It is no longer the sole blueprint. Countries are now tailoring privacy laws to their specific cultural and economic needs, making a one-size-fits-all compliance strategy impossible for global firms. So data sovereignty highlight the shift from the privacy to data sovereignty. Nations are increasingly mandating that the data of their citizens remains physically within their borders. This creates a massive infrastructure challenge for business that previously relied on centralized global data centers. So the compliance and adaptation, this is the cross-border friction. So adequacy decisions mentioned on this slide, even when agreements in place, the security of data flows to third countries, particularly between the EU and US, has been higher. Compliance is no longer a legal checkbox. It's a logistical operation. So the new frameworks we will point out the example of India's DPDP Act and Australia's recent reforms. These aren't just GDPR clones. They introduce unique requirements such as India's consent managers, which require businesses to adapt their technical architecture for every region they operate in the and that they operate in rather. So for multinational corporation, this means the compliance office is now a key strategic player. The challenge in 2026 is no longer just how we protect data, but where we are legally allowed to process it. Navigating this fractured landscape requires a shift toward federated data systems and localized cloud solutions. As we move further into 2026, the GDPR is no longer just about restricting data. It's about refining how we handle it. The 2026 strategic aims of the European Data Protection Board, the EDPD, focus on a balanced compliance model, reducing the burden on smaller players while doubling down on the transparency of high-impact technologies like AR. So empowered users in 2026 are more sophisticated. They expect privacy by design as a default, not a feature. Our strategic aim is to ensure that privacy settings are intuitive, moving away from complex jargon towards standardized visual icons that users can understand at a glance. So the right to erasure Article 17 in AI era, this is the unlearning challenge. The right to erasure has taken on a new technical dimension this year. So it's no longer just about deleting a name from a database. It's about machine unlearning. If a user exercises their Article 17 rights, we must ensure their data isn't still influencing the outputs of our trained AI models. This is where effective enforcement is currently being tested. So enforcement focused coordinated action. We are seeing more joint investigation across EU borders. The enforcement focus in 2026 is on cross-border data transfers and dark patterns. The goal is simple. Ensure that a user's rights are just as strong in a small startup as they are in multinational corporation. So strategic aims and balance compliance targeted regulation. The 2026 focus is on effective enforcement. Regulate, Regulators rather have moved away from penalizing minor administrative errors. Instead, they are prioritizing high-risk processing. This is the balanced compliance approach, providing safe harbors for SMEs. What is that? Small and medium enterprises, while ensuring tech giants meet the highest standards of accountability. So let's proceed to the transparent AI and data provenance, the transparency mandate. For transparent AI, the 2026 updates require a clear data audit trail. You cannot claim your AI is fair if you cannot show where the training data came from. This ties directly into the EU AI Act requirements for high-risk systems. For high-risk systems, we are moving toward a bill of materials for data knowing exactly what went into the engine. So, in summary, 2026 is the year of pragmatism. We are simplifying the how so we can focus on the why. For us, this means moving beyond a compliance first mindset to a trust first strategy. By empowering users and being transparent about our AI, we can turn GDPR from a legal hurdle into a competitive advantage. Let us proceed to the CCPA and US state updates, the 2026 surge. So while the EU often sets the stage, 2026 is the year of the US that has truly accelerated its own domestic privacy framework. We aren't just seeing more laws, we are seeing a shift toward deeper, more technical accountability that targets the very architecture of how we handle data. California's Delete Act, what is this? This is the SB 362, the draft platform. The biggest headline for 2026 is the Delete Act. As of January 1, the California Privacy Protection Agency, the CPPA, launched draft, the Delete Request and Opt-out platform. This is a first of its kind, one-stop shop where a consumer can submit a single request that forces all 500 plus registered data brokers to delete their records. By August 1, 2026, those brokers must begin processing these requests every 45 days. This effectively cripples the shadow profile industry for California residents. Moreover, broad state law expansion, the surge of 20, we have officially hit a tipping point with Indiana, Kentucky, and Rhode Island laws going into effect on January 1, 2026. We now have 20 states with comprehensive privacy statutes. The patchwork is no longer a theoretical risk, it is a daily operational reliability. Most of these new laws mimic the CCPA but often have different threshold or cure periods that are starting to expire this year, meaning regulators can now fine companies immediately without a warning shot. Moreover, the mandatory risk assessments documenting the risk. As of January 1, 2026, the CCPA now mandates formal risk assessments for any processing that poses a significant risk to consumers. This includes selling data, processing sensitive information, or training AI. You must now identify the benefits versus the risk of your data usage before you start. If you're training an LMN on user data today, you need a documented assessment in your files ready for an audit. Additionally, we have Global Privacy Control, the GPC, and Universal Opt-outs, the non-negotiable signal. Finally, let's talk about Global Privacy Control, the GPC. So in 2026, honoring universal opt-out signal is no longer optional, following massive joint investigative sweeps by California, Colorado, and Connecticut in late 2025. The standard is clear. If a user's browser sends a do not track or GPC signal, your site must recognize and honor it automatically. Furthermore, the new CCPA rules require you to visibly confirm to the user that their signal has been honored. No more silent processing. So therefore, the 2026 surge tells us one thing. The US has moved past notice and consent. We are now in the era active governance between the one-click deletion of the Delete Act and the mandatory risk assessments. The cost of asking for forgiveness rather than permission has become too high for any modern business to ignore. So let's proceed to the EU AI Act and data sovereignty. While the GDPR protects who the data belongs to, the EU AI Act, fully enforceable as of early 2026, governs how the data is weaponized within an algorithm. This isn't just a new law. It is the world's first comprehensive risk-based framework for AI, and it changes the definition of data sovereignty for every developer in this room. Let's proceed to integration with GDPR, the Double Lock System Harmonized Compliance. The AI Act does not replace GDPR. It sits on top of it. Think of it as a double lock system. If you are using personal data to train a model, you must satisfy the GDPR for the data collection and the AI Act for the model's output. So the 2026 link in 2026, we're seeing the first joint audits where regulators check if the right to explanation under GDPR matches the technical documentation required by the AI Act. You can't have one without the other. So the general purpose AI, GPAI transparency, the copyright bill of materials for those working with LLMS or foundation models, the rules for GPAI are now in high gear. In 2026, providers are required to publish sufficiently detailed summaries of the content used for training. Sovereignty over content. So this is a major win for data sovereignty. It ensures that creators, whether they are individuals or national archives, know exactly if their data was used to build a model. If you are using a third-party API in 2026, your first question should be, is this model's training summary compliant with Article 53? So let's proceed. Prohibition on facial image scraping, the death of untargeted scraping. One of the most uncompromising parts of the Act is the absolute prohibition on facial image scraping. As of 2026, creating or expanding the facial recognition databases through the untargeted scraping of the facial images from the internet or CCTV footage is illegal in the EU. So the ethical boundary, this is a direct response to companies like Clearview AI. The EU has drawn a hard line. Your face is your sovereign data. You cannot harvest it from the public square to build surveillance tools. This is a massive shift for DevOps teams who previously relied on open source datasets for computer vision rather. So sovereignty as a technical constraint, the sovereign cloud mandate. Because of these rules, we are seeing a sovereignty by design trend. Companies are now building clean rooms, isolated environments where AI is trained only on localized, sovereign data to avoid the legal risk of data poisoning of non-compliant scraping. So therefore, the EU AI Act has effectively ended the era of asked for forgiveness in AI development. In 2026, data sovereignty means you must be able to prove the purity of your training data. If you can't prove where it came from or if was scraped in violation of this new prohibition, your model is a legal liability. Now, let's discuss ethics of data scraping for model training. This is the tension between the vast data needs for modern AI models and individual privacy rights creates significant ethical and legal challenges in data acquisition. So we've covered the what and the where of data loss, but now we must address the how, specifically the practice of automated scraping, harvesting the vast expanse of the internet to fuel large language models or the LMs. In 2026, the question is no longer can we scrape it technically, but should we scrape it ethically? So the key ethical and legal challenges bias application. Ethically, we must also acknowledge that scraping the internet means scraping the internet biases. If we scrape without a filter, We are effectively automating and scaling historical prejudices. Data provenance as an ethical out, this is why the Bill of Materials mentioned in the EU AI Act is so critical. It's not just a legal hurdle, it's an ethical safeguard. It forces developers to stand behind the quality and origin of their data. Let's proceed to the consent paradox. This is the automated harvesting, the death of implied consent. For years, the industry relied on implied consent, the idea that if you put something on the public web, you are implicitly allowing it to be indexed and used. In 2026, this is being replaced by the consent paradox. Explicit is the new standard. Just because a user posts a photo or an article publicly doesn't mean they consented to it being a permanent neuron in your AI model. We are seeing a massive shift toward automated harvesting protection, where websites now use cryptographically signed robots.txt files to explicitly forbid AI training while still allowing search engine indexing. The fair use debate, the copyright versus transformation or infringement, this is the billion-dollar question. Developers argue that AI training is transformative. It creates something entirely new, a mathematical model from the original data. However, 2026 court rulings like the Bartz versus Anthropic case we discussed earlier have narrowed this. So the 2026 reality, the courts are being to rule that if an AI can generate an output that substitutes for the original work, like a style mimicking image or a summarized article, the training process wasn't transformative, it was derivative. This is forcing a move toward licensing models rather than scrape and scale. So the public versus private data, the moral boundary, the privacy expectation gap. There is a massive ethical gap between public data, like a government transcript, and a publicly accessible private data, like a forum post about a medical condition. Sensitive context. In 2026, the ethical standard is the context matters. Scraping public LinkedIn profile for a professional AI is one thing. Scraping a support group forum to train a mental health chatbot is another. We are seeing regulator push for informed opt-in for any dataset that involves human emotion or personal identity. So what we are learning here, so the era of free data is closing. In 2026, the most successful AI companies won't be the ones with the most data, but the ones with the most transparent and ethically sourced data. We must move from being data harvesters to data stewards. So we've seen the laws and we've seen the ethical dilemmas. So let's proceed to the best practices for ethical data collection. Now let's talk about the solution. In 2026, ethical data collection is no longer a vague moral goal. It is a technical architecture. These four pillars represent the industry standard for building a data pipeline that is both legally defensible and socially responsible. Let's talk about permission-based acquisition. This is the beyond the banner, from opt-out to opt-in. In 2026, the implied consent of the past is a liability. Best practice now requires active granular consent. This means moving away from a single accept all button to giving users control over specific use cases such as allow for service delivery versus allow for AI model training. So consent mode version 2. We must implement technical standards like Google Consent Mode version 2 and honor Global Privacy Control or the GPC signals natively. If the user's browser says don't track, our server should listen without being asked twice. So data minimization, the less is more. Rule purpose limitation. The collect everything figure it out later strategy is especially dead. Under 2026 enforcement, if you collect data without a specific documented purpose, you violate the purpose limitation just-in-time collection. So, we should practice just-in-time collection, only gathering data at the moment it is needed for a specific transaction, and then disposing of it or de-identifying it immediately after the task is complete. Every byte you don't store is a byte you don't have to defend in a breath. So let's proceed to anonymization techniques, privacy by design, differential privacy. So this is a basic masking like hiding a name is no longer enough to stop modern re-identification attacks. In 2026, we utilize differential privacy. What is that? That's adding mathematical noise to data sets to that so that individual records cannot be isolated even by advanced AI. So synthetic data, another major best practice is the use of synthetic data. Instead of training models on real customer records, we generate artificial data sets that mirror the statistical patterns of the original without containing any real personal information. This allows for innovation without the privacy risk. Let's proceed to transparent provenance or the data audit trail, the bill of materials. Finally, we must maintain transparent provenance. Think of this as a food label for your data. You should be able to trace any piece of data from its origin, the point of consent, through every transformation to its final use in AI model. So this is the audit readiness. This is what the EU AI Act calls the data lineage. In 2026, an auditor shouldn't just ask if you have consent. They will ask to see the cryptographic timestamp of when that consent was given. Provenance is the difference between a black box and a glass box operation. So we learn in this presentation that adapting these practices isn't just about avoiding fines. In a market where users are increasingly skeptical of how their data is used, trust is your most valuable feature. Companies that can prove they respect permission, minimize risk, and track their sources will be the ones that consumers and regulators choose to work with in the years to come. So, for wrapping up, 2026 goal, strategic resilience through the transparent data governance and the shift from collect everything to provenance first. So the result, compliance as a driver for customer trust and AI reliability. As we close today's sessions, it is clear that the Wild West of data is officially behind us. In 2026, we are operating a multipolar regulatory environment where the lines between privacy, AI ethics, and national sovereignty have blurred into a single high-stakes operational challenges. So what we will learn, so from check the box to sovereignty by design, we've moved past the era where privacy was just a legal policy on a website. In 2026, it is a foundational architecture, whether it's honoring the California Delete Act via automated platforms or building sovereign clouds to meet European mandates. The winners in this economy will be those who bake these constraints into their code from day one. What else? The new data provenance standard. The ethics of data scraping have reached a turning point following the landmark 2026 ruling like Bart's versus Anthropic. The industry is shifting from harvesting to stewardship. Data provenance, the ability to prove the origin, consent, and lineage of every byte, is now the only way to build a defensible and trustworthy AI model. We'll learn as well that trust as a market differentiator. Finally, remember that while these regulations, GDPR, CCPA, and the EU AI Act, feel like hurdles, they are actually building a framework for sustained innovation. In an age of deepfakes and shadow libraries, consumers and businesses are fleeing toward transparency. Organizations that can prove their data is pure, minimal, and sovereign will win the trust war of the late 2020s. So, the 2026 search isn't just about avoiding fines, it's about establishing the rules of engagement for the next decade of the digital age. Let's move forward not just as compliant practitioners but as ethical stewards of the data frontier. So this more conclusion, the future proofing data governance. And these are my references and further references for further reading. And I will leave you some quotations or some word or statement. Privacy is no longer a legal checkbox. It is a competitive feature. Organizations that provide transparent, sovereign, compliant data paths will win the trust war of the late 2020s. Thank you.